we're doing our thing. I've got day 2 off today, which is quite nice. I get to go around and explore the convention, get to see what's available. So this will be my second Blizzcon. I was actually fortunate enough to go to a Blizzcon last year. Had my major breakthrough then, right? Going to Kiev, getting picked up, getting noticed, and yeah, it was such an amazing sort of upswing. I suppose we always think of life like a roller coaster, you know, there's ups and downs. So I was wondering when that down was going to come, but it just kept going up, right? Went to Blizzcon last year, and it's obviously carried through the momentum into this year as well. So mid-season brawl, now my second Blizzcon. The nerves aren't as intense this year, but still the prestige of being at a place like this when I know that people have been here for like 6 years, 8 years, whatever. Amazing. So like, even if I'm doing a cast just in my bedroom, right, in the comfort of my own room back home in New Zealand, and this could be to a stream of, you know, maybe 50 people, right? The scene's obviously not as big from a home soil sort of point of view. I'm always nervous. I think the pressure that I put on myself to perform, maybe why I've grown as quickly as I have on this world stage, of coming from nowhere and suddenly being, you know, 2-time BlizzCon attendee. That's pretty crazy to sort of think in the grand scheme of like how long I've been involved with HEC. So I definitely put a lot of stress on myself to perform and want to be the best. So I think that the nerves will always be there, no matter how exposed I am to this environment. It's something that I've learned to love and learned to understand is like, this is a good thing. You know, typically we think stress is bad, right? I mean, it isn't in too much, but it's always nice to have that there as a sort of ticking, like, I need to get work done, I need to be better, I need to improve, I welcome feedback, and you know what to listen to, right? There's obviously a lot of people on Reddit, a lot of people on social media, not to be too overwhelmed by all that too. So my very first Blizzard game would probably be World of Warcraft, actually. Yeah, World of Warcraft. Back in Vanilla when I was about 11, 12, I played that super casually. I remember it took me like a whole month to get to level 30, and I thought like that was amazing, right? No quest add-ons, no nothing. This is raw, this is classic, just like we have at the demo here. So that was pretty hardcore, and I was pretty attached to that. You know, a lot of my friends were playing RuneScape. I decided to play this. I somehow swooned my parents into paying for my subscription. I don't know how, but the charm was there. And yeah, I just played. I moved to New Zealand, and that was kind of like my appeal, I guess, to making new friends. Hey, like I play WoW, or like I play Warcraft 3, and some other people did, and it sort of just naturally grew from that. In terms of how it sort of came full circle into like Heroes of the Storm, I mean, I played pretty much every MOBA under the sun. I grew pretty bored of like League of Legends, done it for about 3 years, and I got the alpha invite for HOTS, and I thought, hey, this is World of Warcraft Battlegrounds with the best elements of League combined into one, and like the games maybe only last 20 minutes, there's no farming, there's always a big variation of maps and heroes and, you know, characters that we've grown to love. This seems like something that I'd really be interested in, so I jumped in that bandwagon. I played professionally on the team for a year. I was captain and shot caller. We always came second. We never got the actual first place spot, so after a year of that and realizing I should probably focus on my university studies, I decided to take a break. But my manager at the time for our team, he was actually a commentator. One time he needed me to like fill in for him, so I was like, yeah, why not? He knew I was like pretty vocal on the team, so I filled in. And from then on, you know, I filled in the second time, the third time, the fourth. It fully evolved from that. And like anything I do, I just push. And yeah, here we are. You're all fully reliant on yourself as opposed to like having to rely on other people, which I suppose is why I have a tremendous amount of respect for like StarCraft individuals, because there's moments when you're in a team which you can definitely fall victim to tilt, but you got your teammates there to back you up. I think games where you're isolated on your own, or even being a caster when it's so competitive, very, very easy to fall into a negative mindset where you're not getting those gigs, or you're not getting the recognition that you want to achieve, or you're not getting the feedback that you'd like to hear, and it's very reliant on you being like diligent enough to know your own self-worth, I guess, or know what you bring to the table and feel like, I can get there. I've just got to keep pushing, I've got to keep hustling, I've got to keep showing that there is something there that people haven't quite discovered yet. I actually haven't had the chance to play her yet. I did a quick play test before and I got absolutely dominated in game. From what I saw, like her skill set, it looks visually so satisfying. Really, really cool that they're sort of going out the world of what is traditional and they're making something that's very unique to the Heroes of the Storm universe. I like that aspect. I know there's a bit of controversy about that, but for me personally, I like that they're exploring their ideas and we're getting a bit more narrative and maybe a little bit of a lore as a foundation, as opposed to, like, you know, World of Warcraft, there's this, there's that, this is all it's ever going to be. She seemed to be very strong in lane. She seemed to be quite a big lane bully from what I observed firsthand. But I'm not too sure how she's going to change the meta at this stage, very early on. I'd need to wait until she comes out in PTR to get a full grasp on things here. I feel like the one game that I had gave a very lopsided opinion because I was versing Jayhao and he was playing Sylvanas and he literally split pushed the entire game. So we got completely crushed. Like they had like a keep down at like 7 minutes, which yeah, nobody dealt with him. I hate you, Jayhao, but it was pretty ridiculous that game. It's very hard to tell at this stage. I personally like it in the sense that it should make it so the more mechanically gifted team gets the win. You'll sometimes see on the HEC that teams, yes, comeback mechanics are always important, but you'll sometimes see that people will just aimlessly push and get rewarded for it, and especially in like games like Quick Match or Hero League, it can be quite annoying when you're not that coordinated and somebody can get very huge leads from just as-been-on split pushing with general minions, and you're thinking, where's the skill in that, right? So I quite like the direction it's going. I know there's obviously a lot of big iffy, 50-50, and you will need a lot of time to obviously play. The catapults, I think, promote a nice idea of, if you do siege, you will be rewarded. There is always that ongoing threat, there is that aggression that's there to be dealt with, but it's not insurmountable. It's funny you say that, right? Because I've never played Overwatch. I remember when it first came out, people were super hype about it, and a lot of people still are. And like I've been to the arena here, and amazing. Like the atmosphere is crazy. The sort of studio setup is it's wild. And that's in my head what I envision is like the dream, right? Is to be in a situation where you've got such a packed out stadium where you do a shoutcast and you're having these people just scream at your every word. I saw the announcement for that new hero and it looks super fun. Like for me, that looks like Unreal Tournament, which I played to death. So there's like a certain element of me that goes, maybe I just one-trick this hero and maybe that's my gateway into Overwatch because any other hero is going to be like, yeah, it doesn't really do much for me. So there's a part of me that goes, Blizzard, you've kind of convinced me. So I'm big on football, so non-American football, soccer. I play it every week. I've been playing it ever since I was like 5 years old. Super good for like the mind, for the coordination, just teamwork in general, like the basic things, right? But just the ability to step away from the computer. There's definitely been times when I've been like, fully invested in computer games and, not left my room for a couple of days, right? And it's toxic, man. Especially in this day and age when we're so reliant on social media with, validation from like being liked or retweeted or, how many followers we have. I think we get very lost in this like superficial life, this like little bubble of what's real and what's right. You come to these kind of like conventions and you see so many people around, you can instantly walk up to somebody and just say like, hey, what are you here for? And not feel kind of like that social pressure. I think it's a very humbling experience. So definitely being grounded outside of the game by doing other things. So yeah, football for instance, going for runs. I'm terrible at the gym, that's why my arms aren't as big as Cowdles, but they'll get there. Maybe one day I'll shave off my hair. But no, just like staying fit, staying healthy. I once did a little bit of dancing, but I got a little bit shy with that one. It's like a ratio of like 2 guys to like 50 girls. So a little bit overwhelming, too many people at once. But I try to stay active, keep the head fresh, and keep it a good mental space. Well, it's interesting, right? Because when I first did casting, I suppose I was quite lucky how it like landed on my lap. But at the same time, I'm not, because I come from a very, very small region, which obviously cops a lot of flack from the professional scene when it comes to how the likes of like Mindfreak do and whatnot. They're not always given the best chance to get out of groups, or there's like there's lots of issues within the team or just the region as a whole, right? So I've had to work pretty hard to get where I am, but I was very fortunate to have a platform to build from. I would say to a lot of people that first of all find something that you really connect with. So for me, when it first started, it was Babel. I thought he was really cool in terms of like how his energy was so electric, and he wasn't afraid to be who he wanted to be. That's kind of what I do. Is I'm not afraid to like be cheeky on camera, have a laugh, have a joke, be the rap god, but like try and blend that into more analytical. So I'd say find your niche, find what you want to work on, because anybody can just read off stats from Master League or rap god a replay and say like, look how good I am, I can speak words very quickly. Find something that's niche, find something that you're good at. But then you've got to be vulnerable. You have to upload that onto YouTube, or you have to just reach out to like an amateur scene. There's plenty of them now. It's a lot easier to get into it than it was when I first started. Reach out, and I would say like have replays, have YouTube clips as a kind of like a highlight reel to show these people, hey, I'm very interested. But you got to show that sort of that dedication, that desire, right? Like, nobody's just going to give you a silver spoon. in your mouth. So it's one thing to be keen to sort of reach the pinnacle of anything, like anything it would be, but you've got to have that drive, you've got to have that consistency. This has been a long grind. There's been times when I've wanted to quit, there's been times when I haven't felt that I was good enough, but every single time that you get these chances to come to these like tournaments, it's always that boost to keep hungry and search for more. So I suppose the long story short would be, if you're dedicated enough, then you've got to commit to it, you've got to show that drive, and you've got to be ready for feedback. Constructive feedback is very important. I know a lot of people that have crashed and burned because they aren't able to take feedback. So sometimes it will be malicious. You know, Reddit, social media, they're brutal, but you got to know what to look for. You got to obviously please the audience, but at the same time please your potential boss. So take feedback on. I mean, like I said, there's been days where I've been in my room, man, and I'm just like, I don't want to listen to my own voice, right? Like, or you don't want to watch that replay, actually, that was terrible. And I think that game was an absolute joke or a nightmare. And I've had people come to me like, I really enjoyed that moment. And you're like, oh, okay, so you put this like complete dampener on the entire thing, and then suddenly they've said to you, no, this is actually quite good. So I think it's quite humbling when you can have this kind of feedback, and when you can have these kind of like people approach you in a different manner, and it gives you a perspective of, you know, what you're locked into in your own mind might not be what everyone else sees. So it's both a blessing but a burden.